Whew. Thank you, Lord. Committee on Government Ops will come to order. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Kniezek. Commissioner Kniezek.
Here.
Commissioner Clark-Coleman.
Here.
Commissioner Basham.
Here.
Commissioner Killeen. Chair Scott.
Chair
You
Scott.
have quorum present.
Oh, okay.
No,
Now?
we can't hear you. I just
Are
hear
you
what's
on mute?
moving.
No, I'm not on mute.
You're
You were
here.
hearing me before, so why
I
aren't
can
you
hear.
hearing me now?
We can hear you now. We can hear you now.
She's here. She's here.
Okay. All right. Roll call. We did the roll call.
We have a quorum.
Woo. Next item, please.
B, approval of the August 26, 2020 meeting minutes.
So move.
Support.
Is there support?
Support. Irma Clark.
It's been moved and supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposes? Hearing none. Next item, please.
C, old business. There is none.
Next.
Item D1, under new business, requesting commission approval of modification to a one-year contract with Alliant Insurance Services.
Is there anyone to speak on this?
Good morning. This is Claire Mason, Lead Director of Risk Management for Wayne County.
Thank you, Ms. Mason. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Good morning or good afternoon. I have with me also on the line Justin Swarbrick. He is our consultant with Alliant Insurance Services. So he is also on the line today to answer any additional questions. But per your agenda, the items D1, D2, D3, and D4 are all related to the renewal of insurance policies on behalf of Wayne County. And I will start off with D1. This insurance policy is for our excess insurance, and this is for our excess general liability. This policy was originally held by one insurance company, AIG, until about 2 years ago. Well, excuse me, last year. AIG is slowly withdrawing from doing excess liability coverage for municipalities like the county, and so has reduced its coverage amount. In order for us to maintain the $20 million in excess liability, we now have the policy split between 4 companies, and that is what you see here in the D1 for the breakout of policies to maintain that $20 million excess for our liability. I'll stop there if there are any questions.
Any questions? Any questions? Hearing none, go ahead, Ms. Mason.
Thank you, Commissioner. So on to D2. This is for the renewal of the policy for our underground storage tanks. So this is something that is, I don't want to use the word unique, but relatively unique to Wayne County, but this is for our underground storage tank where we store fuels. And this is the renewal policy to cover the liability on those tanks.
Thank you. Any questions on this one? Go ahead to the next. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Item D3, this is the renewal policy for our property coverage. This covers all of our property, the buildings and the leases that the county maintains. And this is the renewal for that property policy. This also includes coverage for cyber as well as the property coverage.
Any questions on this item? Hearing none, go ahead.
And the last one, D4, this is the renewal for the insurance that we maintain on the bridges that the county owns. So this is the coverage renewal for the bridges. Again, these are all one-year policies, and this is the renewal for the specific insurance liability for the 3 bridges that the county maintains and owns.
Any questions? Okay. So it's announced item 4. Hello?
Yeah, Commissioner. So those
Yes.
are all 4. Those are all 4 of the insurance
That's all
policies.
4. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there
Yes,
any
ma'am.
questions on 4? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve all
Move
4.
Move approval on all 4 of them. Clark Coleman.
Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Clark Coleman, supported by Commissioner Basham. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposes? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. May.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Okay, next item, please.
Item D6 on the addenda, communication from Detroit City Planning Commission Director forwarding notification of a proposed amendment to the Detroit Master Plan and Policies.
Any questions on this item? Anyone there to speak on it?
Through the chair, this is Joe. This normally would go to EDC, but since we did not have an EDC meeting yesterday, Chair Bell wanted it to move to today's meeting because the comment period ends tomorrow. And this is property, I believe it's in Commissioner Clark Coleman's district. But yeah, she just wanted it to move ahead just so we can get it on the agenda. So that's why it's here instead of an EDC. And Commissioner Haddis was good with that.
Thank you.
Is there
Can I
any,
have a motion on this?
wait, is there anyone there that can explain to me what's going on here?
What they're doing is they're rezoning essentially the old state fairgrounds, and to do that they have to make changes to their master plan. So that's what this is, and they're just accepting public comment on that through tomorrow. And we got this 2 days ago, I think it was. I mean, because obviously we've not been in the office to see all of the incoming mail, so that's why we're kind of late on this, just because we've not been spending much time in the office.
Okay, I'll move approval of it.
Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Clark Coleman, supported by Commissioner Basham. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposes? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 7, requesting commission approval of modification 1 to a compliance agreement with the State of Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs.
Is there a motion on this?
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Basham, supported by Commissioner Clark Coleman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposes? Hearing none, motion carried. Next item.
Moving back to the agenda, we have a discussion of Michigan Indigent Defense Commission Act matters and the county's contract with Neighborhood Defender Service.
Okay, I can barely hear, but anyone want to speak on this? Hello?
Good afternoon, Chair.
Oh, good
Can you hear me?
afternoon. Oh, yeah, this is the public hearing.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Mary Ann Talon, Project Consultant for the Office of Corporation Counsel. I want to first of all thank all of you and thank your efficient staff for so swiftly getting on the agenda. our extension request for the 2020 compliance plan. With me on the line are a lot of different people, all here to answer any questions you have about the status of the MIDC and in particular NDS. When we were in front of you, I believe it was in July for the NDS contract renewal, it was requested that we come back and give an update. So I'd like to start by briefly telling you where we are on the current plan, where we are on the fiscal 21 plan. I would like to introduce you to Robin Dillard-Rousseau, who is also on the line. Robin is the first hire for the Office of Defense Services that will be in Wayne County. That will be the office that has the responsibility to request the funds from the state, implement the MIDC plans, come up with the plans, implement the plans, and administer both sides of the indigent defense system that we have here in Wayne County. And when I say both sides, I mean the public defender side as well as the assigned counsel side. All of this has been run by the Third Circuit in the past, so it's all brand new territory to us. And Robin's office will be charged with carrying out all those responsibilities under the statute. So if you wouldn't mind, I would like to turn it over to Robin just for a minute so she can introduce herself and you can ask her any questions that you have.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Go ahead, Robin. Thank you. Is Robin on?
She's on mute right now.
Robin, you have to unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
No,
Oh, hi, Robin.
Hi, I'm so sorry. My computer froze, so I do apologize, Commissioner Chair. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. I'm having problems with mine too.
we're
I do
all
apologize.
we're all having problems today.
Right.
But
and
thank you for being here. Is
Yes,
Commissioner Colleen on?
No.
Yes, ma'am. Just got on.
All right. Very good. So Robin is going to explain this. I know you were the one that wanted to be on this.
Thank you,
Yes.
Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner.
You're welcome.
Harris New Galilee, CH.
And I apologize. I did not exactly hear Ms. Talon's the remainder of her comments, but I do know that she did want me to introduce myself officially. And I just would like to say that I think my background in defense work, as well as both prosecution and judicial work, would lend to this position very well. And I'm excited about indigent defense in Wayne County. Ms. Talon, Ms. Van Hoek, and Mr. Vandergrift have been an awesome team. And I'm looking forward to working as well with Ms. Parker, Mr. Nett from Neighborhood Defender Services. So I thank the commission for the opportunity to speak. I'm excited about this work, and I look forward to appearing in front of you in the future as well, eventually once the office is up and running. So thank you for your time today, and I'm available for any questions that you may have.
Commissioner Colleen?
Okay, so would you, okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair, but I just got on. I thought I had a little more time while I was doing other things, so I didn't hear what Counselor Talon had to say. So as of now, no, I don't have questions. Thank you.
So I was just going to give a brief thumbnail sketch of where we are on the 2020 plan. This committee just approved the extension to allow us to continue to spend those funds until the 2021 plan is executed. Thank you very much. We greatly appreciate that, because otherwise we would have had to have stopped spending on September 30th. We are in the process of working through with MIDC staff the issues of concern that they have with respect to our 2021 plan. I don't anticipate that there'll be any big issues, and what we're looking for is staff approval so that we can get to the MIDC October agenda with staff approval so that the full MIDC staff will approve it at that time. We also have, as you know, our 2 planning grants out there, one of which just got extended via immediate consideration, thank you all, at last week's full board meeting. That allows the continued funding of our criminal expert and chief planner, Dawn Van Hoek, who's also on the line, and Drew Vandegrift, who's in Corporation Counsel, and an assistant for Dawn. Her name is Angela Peterson. You've all met Angela before. And a position in the court that hasn't yet been funded, but that will be sort of the MIDC coordinator and will help liaison as we transition, especially after they adopt Standard 5, as we transition all of those assignment of counsel functions from the court over to the county. So there's a lot going on right now, as there will be in the future. It's a big project. And pretty soon you'll be hearing from Robin with all the reports, and I'll just be lurking in the background. And then after she gets up and running, I won't be around anymore. So I'm glad that you all got to know who Robin is, and you know her email address. You can always call her or email her with any questions. She'll be happy to come before the committee, give you updates. Unless there's any questions about our plan or the status of our plan, I'm happy to turn this over to Shantae Parker. She is the Executive Director of NDS Detroit. I understand she's got a presentation.
Before you do that, is Robin, are you still there? Are you from this area? You from Michigan?
Yes, Commissioner. I actually am a Wayne County native, born and raised in Wayne County, went to Cass Tech, went to Wayne State, went to U of D Law School. So I have deep roots in Wayne County. I formerly worked for Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, as well as court counsel as an intern, but the majority of my legal career had been in Oakland County. So now I'm glad to be back in Wayne County. But yes,
Well, welcome.
All right.
Thank you,
Robin. Okay, Commissioner Killeen?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm good for now. I'll listen to the presentation. I just want to stay up on this. You know my interest in it, and I just want to stay up on the reports. And since I'm not on GovOps, I'll be parachuting in whenever it's on your agenda. But thank you. I'm good for now.
All right, the presentation, please.
This is Matt Connect from Neighborhood Defender Service. I think there's a PowerPoint that is going to go up.
Yeah, I'll share my screen now. Start.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. Okay.
You're welcome.
Great. So I'm going to kick things off briefly. I'm Matt Connect. I'm the NDS's Chief of Staff. I want to thank the Commission for inviting us here today to talk about our work. You know, we like talking about our work, and so we certainly appreciate this opportunity. I think you'll see that we had a very successful first year of operations. Next week, I think the 1st, which I think is maybe Thursday, will mark our 1-year anniversary of taking cases in Wayne County. So this is a pretty good time to provide an update. You know, the saying is that success has many parents, and that's certainly the case here. As an organization, you know, NDS, you know, one of the strong components of our application to come here was our experience as an organization providing high quality services. And certainly that experience and the experience of our leadership has played a role. We've also put together a very talented local team, including Shantae. But not only Shantae, the staff of NDS Detroit is stocked, well stocked with a lot of really fantastic talent, including many people who call Wayne County home for their whole lives. So we're pretty proud of that. I'd also be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to thank the court for their support as we've come up to speed, Corp Counsel, Marianne, Robin, and the rest of their team in Wayne County, and certainly the support of this commission as well, continuing to support our work and continuing to show interest in our work. That's really appreciated. So thank you for that. With that, I'll turn this over to Shantae Parker, who is the Managing Director of NDS Detroit, and she'll get started with a brief overview of the programmatic work that we're doing.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thanks, Matt, and thank you to the commissioners for having us this morning, this afternoon. This is our agenda. I'm going to run through fairly swiftly the last year of operation, starting with the NDS difference and the difference we feel we've brought to indigent defense and public defense in the county, an update on our operations, talk about how we've been doing in the context of COVID and the racial uprising for Black lives, and then a little bit about the road ahead as we see it. So first, clients first is our motto here. And we feel we've made a huge difference in the lives of clients. I'm going to talk about 2 clients' stories that illustrate that. First, Mr. Williams. I've changed his name to protect his identity. But Mr. Williams was languishing in the Wayne County Jail for over 300 days on a $200,000 bond. He'd been arrested last summer after he was found asleep in an abandoned home here in the county. And the reason he was in jail for so long is that he had competency issues. He had mental health issues. And so he would go back and forth between coming to court, being found incompetent, and that happened for quite a while. And finally, after about 9 months of that, he was restored to competency and was ready to go on the trial track. Unfortunately, at that time, COVID-19 hit, everything ground to a halt, and Mr. Williams remained in limbo in the Wayne County Jail. But the attorney who's assigned to his case, who was an attorney who's a native of Wayne County, who came over from the State Defender Office, quickly filed a motion on Mr. Williams' behalf, asking the court to release him or at least lower his bail given COVID and the risk to Mr. Williams given his mental health condition. That attorney argued that motion in front of the judge, and the judge asked for a little bit more information about Mr. Williams' condition. And so this attorney went back to the office, collaborated with the social worker on the team, and that social worker had a lot of history about Mr. Williams' mental health condition. And together, the attorney and the social worker did an upgraded motion that detailed Mr. Williams' mental health history and also the impact of him remaining in the Wayne County Jail during COVID with that condition. Based on that updated motion and the arguments in front of the judge, thankfully the judge did lower his bail to $15,000. And in collaboration with the Bail Project, Mr. Williams was able to get out of the Wayne County Jail and is doing well now. Second case, right? As you may know, we have a community intake practice, which allows folks who do not have an attorney to call us and we'll get started on their case. And so we got a call in July from someone who was in the Wayne County Jail who didn't have an attorney assigned to their case and was sort of stuck in limbo in the jail on a probation violation. Once we got that call, another one of our experienced attorneys, again, someone who had come over from the State Defender Office, called the court to figure out what was going on with this client's case, got the client back onto the docket, contacted the client's family to find out some information about where he could go once he was released, and then was able to pretty quickly argue for this client's release as well, given the situation, because the client was actually COVID positive and so needed to get out of the incarceration in order to get treated for COVID. This attorney, again, was successful in getting the judge to lower the bail to $50. That was an amount that the client was able to meet, and he was released and is also doing well. So these 2 examples are just very short stories about the way in which our holistic practice, having social workers involved and having skilled attorneys from Wayne County fighting for our clients has made a difference over this last year. We're also meeting the MIDC standards, right? This is what's really important because the MIDC has put out these standards about what we need to do when we represent folks who are indigent. And we are meeting those standards. Standard 1 requires education and training for our staff. And so been pretty robust in our training. You know, to me, training is one of the most important parts of being a public defender. From the beginning, back in actually in September of last year, we had a 3-week training for our entire staff to bring them up to speed and provide them with the skills that they needed. Special thank you to the court who allowed our staff to be able to participate in this training last September and be able to have that space. In addition, in this May, we brought on a training director, Kristen Lavoie. She's a lifelong Wayne County resident, worked at SATO, also worked at the State Defender Office for a time. She's really jumped in and provided robust training, not only for our staff, she's doing at least two trainings a month for our staff, but she's also training the whole entire private bar as well. And she's working very closely with Robin, Don, and Hope to make sure that the Wayne County Assigned Counsel panel gets that training as well. And so that's going along well and also meeting the standards. As to Standard 2, with regard to the initial interviews, we have been monitoring our attorneys and making sure that they're meeting the standard of interviewing their clients within the time frame mandated by MIDC. For example, in Q3, we conducted over 325 interviews with clients within that initial period. In addition, again, collaboration, you're going to hear me talk about that quite a bit. We collaborated with the county. Marianne was very instrumental in this, as well as the court and the sheriff's office when COVID hit, to make sure that we were continuing to do those initial interviews. NDS provided its Zoom licenses to the entire private bar to make sure that they could have those conversations, those initial interviews with clients, and make sure that folks in Wayne County continue to meet Standard 2. As to Standard 3, again, we're tracking the defender data system to make sure that we're using investigators and experts where it's necessary. In Q3, we used investigators in 24% of the cases that we were assigned to. And last, Standard 4, while that is not a part of our portfolio with regard to providing counsel at first appearances, we know that Wayne County is taking steps to ensure that counsel is at first appearances. Reason Over is part of that defender office that provides that representation. We begin to build a relationship with her to make sure that we have information that's been gathered at the first appearances that may be useful to our attorneys when they get the cases at the PCC. Just wanted to highlight a few things that have really been at the top of our list throughout this last year. We created a value statement. Collaboration, client-centeredness, holistic representation are a few of our values, and they really drive what we do every day. As well as training. These are some pictures of our training from last year in September. And again, we're always thinking about how can we give our staff the skills and tools that they need to represent to the best of their ability. And lastly, for me as a leader, it's really important to develop leadership skills in those who are managing and supervising others. And so we do regular check-ins with our leadership team once a week to make sure that they have what they need, and we're talking about the best way to serve clients and making sure that the teams have that as well. I wanted to highlight our dismissal rate, which we're pretty proud of. So these are some statistics about the number of cases, the percentage of cases each month that we get dismissed at the preliminary examination. So this percentage, for example, in July 2020, 30% of the cases that we disposed of in that month were dismissed at the preliminary exam stage. And this is important because these are cases where, based on the hearing, there wasn't enough evidence to sustain the charges. And what this reflects is attorneys getting assigned to cases early on, right? We make sure that we assign very early, that we are investigating cases, going out into the community, talking to witnesses, gathering evidence to show that the charges shouldn't be sustained, as well as us putting additional resources on the cases like social workers and client advocates. And this is a benefit to every stakeholder in the system, because it is a way for us to save resources and efficiency. If a case is dismissed and should be dismissed because it isn't supported by the evidence earlier in the case, this is before it even gets to the circuit court, that saves everyone and benefits all by thinning out dockets. I'm going to turn it over to Matt, who's going to provide some updates on our operations.
Thank you, Ms.
Great.
Parker.
Thanks, Shantae. I'm going to talk a little bit about each of these issues in terms of our operations. As some or many or even all of you know, NDS Detroit is one of 2 offices that run by the Neighborhood Defender Service. We have the location in Harlem, where we've been for 30 years, and NDS Detroit now where we've been for a year. And so we have 2 boards of directors, the National Board of Directors, and then a local management board. And I'll talk a little bit more about each of those. I have slides on each of those. I think you guys probably know, some or all of you probably know some or all of these board members, but I'll do a brief introduction for each of them. In terms of our space, the nuts and bolts sort of portion of the space conversation is that we have, in the Guardian building, we have the entire 29th floor as NDS Detroit office space, and then we have a piece of the 28th floor. On the 28th floor, we're still developing that space so it can be occupied, but with the COVID sort of slowdown and the occupancy limits, that space on the 28th floor isn't operational yet, but it will be shortly. That's the nuts and bolts on space. But what I really want to just highlight on the space is sort of the quality of the space rather than the quantity of the space. It's really important to us as an organization that when clients and their families come to see their legal team, that they know that they're walking into a serious professional office space, that they're seeing professionals. And so we have set up the office professionally. People are greeted by a receptionist when they walk in the door. Many public defender offices across the country establish barriers between the reception staff and the people who are coming in terms of like plexiglass or different barriers. It's really important to us not to create those barriers. We want people to know that they're walking into a space where they're seeing professionals and they're meeting with the team that's on their side. I think some of you may have seen our space before, but certainly once we get back to anything that's sort of normal, I'd invite any of you who have not had a chance to see the space to set up a meeting in the space. You come and see what it looks like. In terms of the contract with modification, we did renew the contract with a couple of modifications. You all, renewed the contract, so you know that it's been renewed. What I want to do here is just highlight 2 changes in the year 2 contract that were not in the year 1 contract that I think are important. Both improve the services that we provide to our clients. The first, and Shantae will talk a little bit about this, we're moving into the mental health court docket, a place where our holistic services, particularly with respect to social work, really fit nicely. And then the second modification that I think is really important that Shantae touched on in one of her examples that she gave is our community intake. I could spend a whole day talking about the value of community intake, but essentially at its core, what community intake does is it levels the playing field for people in the community who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford a lawyer. So clients, if they had resources and they were under arrest or they thought they were going to be under arrest, are able to hire a lawyer to protect them from very early on in the case. And if you have money, you get those protections. And if you don't, it's very difficult to have that same level of protection. What our community intake practice does is it opens up our phone lines and it opens up our doors to clients who find themselves in that same situation and offers those clients the same level of protection as if they were able to hire a lawyer. So it's really important work. It's really valuable work. And it's really a great service for the community. And then finally on this slide, hiring, we're almost fully staffed. When COVID hit and with the financial sort of uncertainty that goes with that, we've put a pause on our hiring. We're waiting to see what the MIDC decision is in terms of funding in October. And then whatever that decision is, sort of, very shortly on the other side of that decision, we'll move to fill whatever spots remain open to round out the staff. So that's the basics on operations. With respect to the boards, I'm going to start with the National Board. The National Board has equal representation between the New York office and the Michigan office. And for the Michigan members of the board, these three people on this slide, we are really excited to have each of them as members of the board. This National Board has the ultimate fiduciary responsibility for the organization, for the larger organization. They meet regularly. Each of the boards actually meet 3 times a year. They receive programmatic and fiscal updates. And their sort of core mission is to ensure the health of NDS, both of the local offices and the larger organization. Saul Green, just a brief intro to each of these members of the board, is of counsel at Miller Canfield. He's the former deputy mayor of Detroit. He's played numerous roles in government at the county level, at the regional level, at the national level, and he has been awarded many times for his commitment to public service over the course of his career. Carla Walker Miller, she's the founder and president and CEO of Walker Miller Energy Services. That's a private company whose goal is to empower people and communities by providing exceptional service to their customers. She's been recognized nationally, and her company has been recognized as well nationally as an exceptional firm that does just that. And then Steve Fishman is an experienced criminal defense attorney in Detroit. He has more than 40 years of experience as a trial attorney. He appears in all of the same courts that our attorneys appear in day in and day out. He's handled more than 200 jury trials and received numerous awards and recognitions for his work as well. These are 3 really, really great board members, and we're very excited to have them on the National Board.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Matthew, but you got to move quickly. We have a 1 o'clock.
Okay, I'll pick it up. Just to highlight then very quickly on the NDS Detroit Board, we've recently filled out this board. It's 6 people. It's also a talented and diverse board. Jelani Exum is the chair of the board. She's a professor of law at Detroit Mercy Law School. She's an expert in sentencing. Penny Baylor is former executive director of 2 big organizations for more than 15 years at each of them. The City Year Detroit, which is an AmeriCorps program, and the Girl Scouts in the Michigan metro area. We're really happy to have her on the board. Ashish Joshi is a managing partner at Joshi Attorneys and Counselors. He's a nationally recognized litigator. Dr. Tolo Lupe Sonoy, or Dr. Tolu, as he goes by, he's an emergency physician at DMC Sinai Grace. He founded D Live, which takes a holistic view of violence and works with people who come into the emergency room, victims of violence, and works towards inspiring change in their lives. Suzanne Sukar is a member of Dickinson Wright. Her work focuses on immigration. She's recognized nationally as a leader in her field. And finally, Roby Davis is a formerly incarcerated person. He studied in the state of Michigan Department of Corrections optical lab, and is the first person to have studied in that lab to come out of prison and return home and open his own optical business, which he's been successfully running for years. And he's dedicated to serving his community. This is the local board, and we're very happy to have them supporting the organization. I'll turn it back over to Shante. Thank you.
Very quickly, during COVID-19, collaboration again has been how we have moved through this time. We've been filing bond motions, have gotten over 500 clients released, partnering with the Bell Project, partnering with the county to make sure jail visitation continues, also partnering with the court as well to make sure that those folks who are arrested on technical violations like not paying fines, not reporting, or not keeping their address updated, things that are not threats to public safety, that those folks could get out of the Wayne County Jail so that they weren't at risk of getting COVID, and also not get arrested so they wouldn't expose others to COVID by cycling through the jail. So collaboration has been key. We're really thankful for that support from others and other stakeholders. And then also, you know, part of our data collection we found that over 70% of our clients are Black folks. And so we have been advocating and contributing to the conversation around Black lives by contributing to op-eds and press releases about what needs to happen for folks during COVID, as well as within the criminal justice system, just generally for Black people. Road ahead. So as Matt mentioned, we're doing mental health court. Our resources with regard to social workers and client advocates is key to helping those clients with mental health issues make sure that they get the help that they need and providing that expertise to the court. We also are going to complete hiring. I'm really excited to bring on more Michiganders. The majority of the staff that we hired was from Michigan, had ties to Michigan, and we're going to continue to try to do that. And we're going to expand the civil services that we provide. That's our intention, to expand to all civil services. But right now, what we know is that eviction is something that a lot of Wayne County residents are facing. And so we're taking note of the clients that we have that because of their contact with the criminal legal system are facing eviction, or just generally are in threat of that we want to provide that eviction defense service. So we're working to try to secure some funding to bring on a housing attorney to do that. As well, we'd love to expand into misdemeanors because we see the overlap for our clients who have misdemeanor cases and believe that we can bring the same robust representation to those clients who are facing misdemeanor charges. With that, thank you so much for your time. It's been a busy year, and we really appreciate the support of this body and the opportunity to be here today. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have about our operations this year.
Oh, Commissioner Scott, you're on mute.
While she's coming on, Tim, did I hear you say that you're not a part of this committee? Tim Colleen?
Did I? Yeah, I think, yeah.
You said you're
you know what it is?
You are on this committee.
You know what it is? Why I was forgetting about it, Commissioners, I have a regular meeting at the Mental Health Board that conflicts with this one that didn't happen this time. If I can sneak in, I know we have to go for another meeting. Are all of, you showed the 4 standards from the MIDC or the 4 whatever, are they all out now, or are there more to come from MIDC?
There are more to come. Those are the 4.
That's what I thought.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And under your contract, who evaluates you? Does the MIDC? Does the county? Who evaluates, right? We changed here, right, from something we've been doing for a long time. And I was very supportive of the change, even though I had a lot of friends that got a no answer. So where's the evaluation coming, either from the county or the MIDC?
So I think Mary Ann may be able to speak more specifically to this, but I do know that Robin and the Office of Indigent Defense Services is the oversight body for us. So I believe that the evaluation will come from that body, but please, if anybody has information, please.
Well, I'll be in touch with you guys, and I'll also be in touch with Counselor Talon on this too. I am very interested that when we say if you can't afford an attorney, one will be provided, that is absolutely quality representation for folks, right? You know, it's if you don't have money, the criminal justice system gets a little hinky. So I'll look forward to many conversations in the future. Thank you for coming today.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you all. Is there another burning question? We got about 5 minutes. All right, hearing none, Madam Clerk.
E, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
Do we need to do a receive and file on this or not?
No, it's just a discussion.
Yeah.
We don't?
No.
Okay. All right. I don't know of any such other matters. The next item,
Public comments.
unmute everybody, please.
Okay.
Anyone from the public wishing,
There's a title.
anyone from the public? Did anyone say anything? I'm still hard of hearing.
No.
Yeah, see you too. Yeah, see everybody. Mark Apple, hi. That's my buddy. How are you?
Next item,
Adjournment.
Move adjournment.
moved by Commissioner Coleman. Is there support? It's been moved and supported. We are adjourned. Thank you all so much, and let me apologize again for me having problems with my computer, my pad. All right, thank you all. Thank everyone for that wonderful presentation also. Thank you.